Hello friends. Actually, we have started chapter number 4 planning in our business studies class 12 commerce, right? And I am Chintan Joshi from Nalanda Vidhyalaya, MORBI, and we are discussing planning and its topics. In earlier discussion of two video lectures, we have completed two topics. In first video lecture, we have completed about introduction, concept and definition of planning. Whereas in the second video lecture, we have completed features of planning. Today, we are going to discuss about the importance and limitations of planning as well as process of planning. Again, let me recall the things with you guys that after the effect of COVID-19, Cbse has reduced the syllabus up to 30%. And in our chapter number 4 planning, we have to discuss only these few topics that is displayed on your screen, right? So it is a very small chapter for you right now, whereas case studies might be asked from importance or limitations. This is the important topic on which base case studies might be asked, right? So please focus today's session that we are going to discuss in detail. Before we move for the today's important discussion, let me recall some things with you guys that we have discussed in this chapter earlier base. We have discussed the concept and definition of planning, where we have seen that planning is all about what to do and how to do. Whereas we have seen certain features, characteristics or natures of planning, like planning is a continuous process, planning is a primary function of management, it is a universal or pervasive functions, etc. Lots of features we have discussed yesterday in video sessions, and today we are going to discuss first importance, then limitations and then process of the planning. So guys, let me start today's discussion with importance of planning. On your screen you can read 6 importance of planning given in your syllabus. Number 1, planning provides direction. 2, planning reduces risk of uncertainty. 3, planning reduces overlapping and wasteful activities. 4, planning promotes innovative ideas. 5, facilitate decision making. And last one, 6, planning establishes standards for controlling. Let me have detailed discussion point by point. Number 1, planning provides direction. Planning is a function that helps manager to decide in advance as what to do and how to do. Right? We are familiar with these two keywords, that planning is a function which helps managers to decide in advance for the future part, that what we want to do and how we will do that particular task. Thus, planning provides direction for the action part. Planning lays down the objectives of the organization very clearly so that they act as a guide for deciding what action should be taken in what direction. Again, two important keywords. What action should be taken? Number 1. Second point, that action in which direction should be taken. So it is again providing the path or direction to the managers. Next, clearly stated goals enables the employees to know what they have to do. Whenever in the planning process, in the planning part, first of all objectives are set off. If these objectives or goals are clearly stated, It will help managers or employees to know what they have to do. This also helps in establishing coordination among various departments. If different departments are knowing what actually they have to do, they will work accordingly. For example, if sales department is in demand of 100 unit to sell out for a order, right? Production department will come to know that sales department is in requirement of 100 units for the sales aspect. That's why the coordination between the production department and marketing or sales department will be increased. Let me discuss further. In the absence of planning, employees work in different directions and hence the organizational objectives will not be achieved. At the end of this topic, it is clearly mentioned that if there is no planning in an organization, employees would not be able to know what they have to do, how they have to do, when they have to do, and where actually they want to perform the task. So, without the planning, any organization will not have direction. That's why we can say that planning provides direction. First important, easily clear. Guys, I am going slowly because case studies will come from these 2-3 topics only, right? It might be observed that case studies always asked from importance or limitations part majoritarily, right? So whenever we are discussing these topics, importance and limitations, I am providing maximum efforts. I am emphasizing maximum from my side with my best effort to make you clear with the concept. Okay, first point clear. Second, importance of planning. Planning reduces risk of uncertainty. Because of planning, we can find that risk of uncertainty has been reduced because planning function enables a manager to look forward and anticipate changes. As we know that planning is basically a function for the futuristic activity. Yesterday in the characteristics part, features part, we have seen that it is a futuristic activity. So whenever we are going to think for the future aspect, we are going to think list of details with action plans, and these things enables a manager to look forward for the future aspect. By deciding in advance about how a particular task is to be done, planning helps him in dealing with unexpected changes and uncertain events. Because managers is enabled in advance that what is to be done in the future, he is well prepared with his different action plans if any uncertain or unexpected events is going to occur, because he will have plan B, plan C, plan D, etc., as we discussed yesterday, right? So manager is enabled to face the uncertainty of the future, and that's why he is well prepared in the present while he is preparing a planning for the future happenings, right? That's why we can say that planning reduces risk of uncertainty. They can identify potential dangers and take timely steps to overcome them. In future, whenever some unexpected or uncertain events occurs, they are well prepared with their other alternative plans. That's why they can identify the potential dangers, and with that things they can overcome them in the time period. Second importance, clear friends. Third one, planning reduces overlapping and wasteful activities. On the basis of planning, activities of different departments and individuals are coordinated. As we discussed recently, right now, that because of planning, different departments are aware with their functioning, what they have to do, right? When they have to do, how they are going to do that task, and where, right? So because different departments are aware with their actual performance, what they have to do, the overlapping can be reduced. The different departments are internally coordinated with each other, and because they are coordinated, right, strong communication will support to reduce the overlapping and wasteful activities. Let me see further discussion. By stating the objective clearly, planning ensures smooth functioning of a business without any confusion and misunderstandings. It is also helps in minimizing the useless activities of the organization, as the objectives are clearly stated among all the different departments of an organization. Each and every departments are well aware with their jobs and responsibilities. So there will be no confusion, there will be no misunderstandings, there will be no repetition of the works, there will be no overlapping and wasteful activities. Clear? Point number 4. Planning promotes innovative ideas. At the starting of the chapter, right, in the concept part, we have discussed this innovative and creative word in detail, right? Planning is considered to be most challenging function of the different manager, as it guides all future actions and promotes growth and prosperity of the business. Under planning, new ideas taken the shape of concrete plan. It encourages managers to initiate new ideas and better methods. Guys, we are familiar that we are planning for the futuristic activities. Number one, we are setting our objectives. Number two, we are trying to complete or achieve our objectives within the time period. Number three, we are trying to reduce the overlapping and wasteful activities. Number four, etc. guides us, indicates us that whenever we are planning for the future part, we will think more creatively and innovatively to reduce the risk of our business. As we are familiar that whenever we are entering in a new business, right, the competitors in the market, how they are working, in which pattern they are producing the goods, what are their production cost, or what is the margin of their profits. At that time when we are entering into the market with the competitive era, we will think how we can reduce our production cost, how we can increase our more profit, what innovative things should be entered into our production era. These all the things will answered in the innovative and creative part. And with these innovative and creative ideas, we are entering into the market for the successful launching of our product and having the successful market proportion in the competitive era. That's why we can say that planning promotes innovative ideas. Let me discuss further. Moreover, it forces managers to think differently, making them more creative and innovative. Dealing with uncertainties of future, planning is the most critical function which provides basis for consistent growth and prosperity of a business enterprise or otherwise. So over here we can come to know that planning basically promotes creativity and innovative ideas into the mind of managers. And because of these things, managers can think differently to have more successful of an organization, right? That's why we can say that planning promotes innovative ideas. Clear? Point number 5. Planning facilitates decision making. Planning involves looking ahead, futuristic restrict activity, and deciding on the best alternative from among various alternative course of action. The manager, after analyzing every alternative, select the best proposition. Thus, planning helps in taking rational and most appropriate decision. There will be obviously no need for planning if only one course of action is available to the manager. Yesterday we have discussed in our video session of the features of planning, that planning is a decision making process, right? We have observed, we have seen, and we have learned that if there is only single alternative or option with the organization, there is no need to choose the rest of the part. We have to choose that single one, right? But it is not like that. Planning is a multiple alternatives or options process where we are listing plan A, B, C, D, etc. List of alternatives and options we will have while we are planning for the future, while we are looking ahead, and while we are deciding on the best of our alternatives. So it is a selection process, it is a decision making process, right? To choose the best one out of the different course of alternatives. Thus, planning facilitates decision making in a from different options. Is it clear? Point number 6. Planning establishes standards for controlling. Planning provides the standards or target against which actual performance is compared. Deviations of actual results from the standards indicate that corrective action are needed. Guys, we have seen that there are two aspects in the planning while we are preparing different plans: where we are and where we want to go, current scenario and future scenario, what we want to see for our organizations. So actual standards and the futuristic goals will be again two phases of the planning. Over here, the actual performance will be compared with the standard or targets we have set off for the future happenings. While we are deciding to go a futuristic journey, right, we are finding some hurdles in the journey. Say for example, if right now we are in current scenario, we are at zero production and we are aiming for the futuristic part with 100 units manufacturing in a hour, right? Per hour we want to produce 100 units. We have to pass a journey from 0 to 100, right? While we are traveling a journey of 0 to 100, we will find lots of hurdles in our way. The hurdles will create deviations. Sometimes it happens that power cut off, sometimes it happens that machine gets shut down, etc, etc. Due to these hurdles, we are not actually getting our targets that we have set off. Say for example, we are traveling 0 to 100 production units, but we become limited up to 90 units per hour. The 10 margin will be counted as a deviation that we have not achieved. So while we are preparing our actual performance analysis, we are finding the deviation, and this can be happened only because of the plannings, right? So controlling part comes into the existence while planning is there, right? If planning is not there, on what we are going to control or compare the real performances, right? Control is always exercising in the light of planning. Therefore, planning may be said to provide the basis of control too. If there were no standard, finding deviations would not be possible. By comparing standards with actual deviations, and reason for such deviations can be found. If we have not achieved 100 units per hour, production and we are stopped with 90. Let me find out why 10 we cannot produce. Was there not power into the industry? Was there a fault in the machineries? What actually happened? The reason behind the deviations we can found with the help of the planning. That's why we can say that planning establishes standards for controlling. So at the last, in the sixth importance, we have seen that planning helps in establishing standards for the controlling. So total six importance of planning is given into your syllabus and we have learnt these six importance of planning. Still, guys, if you have any doubts, please feel free to ask me. Thank you, friends.